Welcome back, coders, to another quick video. Today we're going to be doing some post reactions to the Xbox showcase. Specifically, in this video, we'll be covering the Fable trailer, which was the first trailer to open the showcase and honestly kicked it off to a really strong start. Now, we had some rumors going around that Fable might show up to the showcase, and we were not let down. And I would say, in fact, for me, it was way more impressive than I could have anticipated. I kind of went in with middling expectations based upon the last two showcases that had happened this year from other developers, and so I wasn't 100% certain that we were going to see a lot of great games. But Fable kicked off the show strong, and there's just a couple things that I want to talk about that I think are really, really valuable to talk about, specifically with this game. We'll watch the trailer in a second, but the first thing I want to talk about, and this is something to keep in mind while we're watching this trailer and just soaking it all in, is that this entire thing is not only in game, but it was captured on an Xbox Series X. And the reason I know this is because this is Lucas Coels, who is a lead lighting artist at We Are Playground, working on Fable, and was working on Forza Horizon 5. We shouldn't have been shocked, by the way. We shouldn't have been shocked that this is running on an Xbox Series X. They got incredible things happening on Forza Horizon 5, and you'd be surprised. So Mohammed asked, or said, "You guys nailed it. This seriously looks insane. Can you give me any more details on what exactly in-game means here? Are we talking engine running real-time on hardware, pre-rendered in-engine scenes? This is a new milestone in visuals." And Lucas very kindly answered his question. This game is captured on a Series X. And that is mind-blowing. So, as you'll see in this trailer, it really is pushing visual boundaries, and I'm very excited to see what they have to do with it.
Oh, we're finally doing this, are we? Because I was going to make a sandwich. Okay. Let's do it. What do I think about heroes? Well, we've all seen them, haven't we? Swanning about the place with their disproportionately high cheekbones and comically massive weapons.
Wanker.
Roughing up bandits, because they like to rough up bandits, don't they? Living it up with the common folk every single night. On a day-to-day basis, I'd say the true hero is me, someone who's breaking new ground with fruit, with veg, on the agricultural side of things.
Just look at them.
Not wafting around mythical creatures. And that's what they are. Wafters.
Yeah, well done.
You see, I'm not here to slay legendary beasts. I'm here to conquer the vegetable, not a euphemism. Let's face it, the age of heroes is over. This is the age of innovation. This, if you will, is the age of death. One moment. This is awkward.
Yeah. Oh.
Okay, and that was the trailer. I hope you guys enjoyed that. I'm not gonna lie, that trailer still slaps after like the 10th viewing. But what I did want to talk about were a couple key areas in this trailer that I found extremely interesting on doing some deep dives. First, we'll focus on some gameplay. Then we'll focus on some mission structure surrounding the actual events that are happening in this trailer. I believe I have figured out some of the key connections related to the mission as it will take place in the game. Yes, I believe this is an in-game mission that you end up doing, and I'm very excited to kind of break that down. So, right off the bat, we're going to start and come right back to here. The first thing that we're going to look at is just the insane upgrade in facial capture. right here, first of all, the animation is absolutely on point. The subsurface scattering on his ears and his nose and his eyes and stuff like that is so incredibly good. So it looks like light is actually passing through the skin, and it gives that kind of reddish glow. You can see it over here, which is just really impressive. Teeth rendering is actually quite impressive. I hate when games just put like perfect teeth in a mouth. Part of the thing that will always give it away. And then even the peach fuzz. This is something that you can see in Horizon Forbidden West that they do really well, and I just love to see it here as well. So, taking some great things. Hair is done really well. Eyebrows are individual. It's just a lot of detail, which makes sense because, as we will find later out in the trailer, he is a giant. but we'll wait to get to that part in just a little bit. I just wanted to take a moment to appreciate the fine details on his face. That's Dave, a vegetable enthusiast. Keep that in mind, vegetable enthusiast. There's something interesting that we'll want to note. Also note what he's wearing. He's got this red ascot, as well as like this like leather vest and green outfit. We'll also notice later there's a belt specific to him, like a leather belt on his hip. Just keep a note of that. As we go a little bit further in, we're going to get to him talking about the hero, which is this young lady who seems kind of rough around the edges, but really, really joyful, very, very Fable-esque. You can see the foliage rendering is just incredible, very, very reminiscent of what they did in Forza Horizon 5, which is pushed to the max. Cloth rendering is fantastic. I mean, everything just looks spectacular. If you had told me this was CGI, I would have believed you. It looks that good. So we're going to go ahead and keep on doing it. You can see now we get into some combat. So there's just some interesting things we can take from here if we can pause it perfectly. So right off the bat, we know this is actually running on some sort of computer and not pre-rendered for one major factor. You can see some pixel breakup in between motion. So it's actually really subtle, and it only really shows up in certain types of camera moves and stuff like that, but this is one area where we can see it. On top of that, this is the closest section to looking like controller in hand gameplay. That's what I'm going to call it, because it seems to be this big debate online. Like, that's not gameplay, that's in-game, or that's in-game captured footage of a... It doesn't really matter. The point is, this is what the game is going to look like. We haven't figured out exactly what it's going to play like, but it's Fable. We probably kind of know. As long as it has better combat than the last two. I have a great little shot here. I'm going to see if I can... So right here is a great shot. Really does lead credence to the fact that this is gameplay. This is actual footage that you would see while you're playing the game. You can see that it's not perfect, but it's incredibly impressive. Texture's great, the animation's great. Everything looks really good. But again, foliage is just a big standout here. These forests look incredibly well lit, incredibly lush and dense, and it's really, really nice. We're going to continue on. This is the first time we see magic, which is really great. Again, this is very similar to what I imagine the gameplay is going to look like. And gotta say, if this is what it ends up being, I'll be very happy. So throwing fireballs, using swords, all that stuff. She goes around, she messes with all of the people. This is actually where you can kind of see some more artifacting and stuff like that. Okay, so this is what I was talking about with him. This is the leather belt. We're just going to want to note that because I believe what is actually happening in this mission is that this guy is a local farmer, ends up buying magical beans, who'd have thought, plants them, and then begins to consume those foods. And when he consumes those foods, he becomes giant. So let's go ahead and continue on. And here's how I know it's him. And this is the thing that blew my mind when I was watching it. And I didn't notice it probably the first 5 to 10 times. But we finally watched it. This is him. It's his exact outfit. The green shirt with the leather shoulder. He's got the hair and he's got the glasses. Everything. That is him. So we see him normal sized here, standing next to an absolutely enormous pumpkin. And she is investigating along with him. And he goes, "Look what happened to this thing." So my theory is that he has been either selling beans or has beans or whatever, some form of thing that's supposed to be helping the growth, and then ends up consuming it himself, which is why he's going on and on about herbology or not herbology, but the vegetables and trying to become the master in something new. And what ends up happening is, you'll see in a second, is the beanstalk shoots up right in the background here. So right after the nice chicken kick. So shout out to Fable 1 and 2 and 3. Love a good kicking of a chicken. That's an awesome looking creature. My God, that looks so good in game. Let's go ahead and see what happens right here. Okay, and so we can start to see that this is erupting into the sky. There's a beanstalk. I wish that I could see. But we don't get to see him here. My guess is that this is when it all happens. He becomes a giant, things like that. Kind of cuts to it. We lose a lot of time. And then suddenly, she is being chased around by an incredibly detailed giant by the name of Moss from the IT crowd, which is just fantastic. Look at the detail on his peach fuzz and the cheeks. The fire looks amazing. Everything really just looks amazing. And this is why I think a lot of people had a hard time believing that this was in game. But like right here is a great example of like how you can tell when something is in game versus not. It's like this texture. If this is pre-rendered, this would be better. Like this would be 3-dimensional. That is a flat texture with a nice bump map on it. It is not. It is in game. That is actually running on a Series X, confirmed by the developer. Great subsurface scattering, not completely imperfect or perfect. Just overall an incredible trailer. So just like that, I hope you had a good time just kind of breaking down this trailer, looking at what could possibly be the first mission that you really take on in this game. And honestly, it leaves such a good impression. So I really hope you enjoyed it. Make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit that bell for notifications. And as always, stay classy, coders.